Hi everyone, today we're going to be learning about the rules of indices. This is my first video ever, so please stay with me and let's get to learn maths together. So, rules of indices. The first rule is a to the power of x multiplied by a to the power of y equals to a to the power of x plus y. So what does this mean? It means that the exponent here, when you see that there's a multiplication, the exponents with a multiplication, they're going to be added up together. They're going to be added up together. So, for example, 2 to the power of 3 multiplied by 2 to the power of 5 equals to 2 to the power of 3 plus 5, which is equal to 2 to the power of 8. Yeah, that's the correct answer. So now let's move on to rule number 2, which is a to the power of x divided by a to the power of y equals to a to the power of x minus, so take away, by y. Whenever you see a division sign, the exponents, whenever there's a division sign, the exponents up here, they're going to be taking away each other. So it's going to be, for example, 3 to the power of 7 divided by 3 to the power of 2 equals to 3 to the power of 7 take away by 2. So 7 take away by 2 equals to 3 to the power of 5. And that's my final answer. Okay, rule number 3. We have a within a bracket with x to the power of x, close the bracket, we have to the power of y. So what this means, the bracket, it means, the bracket here, it means that the x and the y, they're going to be multiplying. They're going to be timesing each other. So a x is going to multiply by y. It's going to multiply by y. For example, 2 to the power of 4 is going to 2 to the power of 4, and then we have another number outside the bracket, which is say 6. So that's going to be 2 4 times by 6, which is 2 to the power of 4 times 6 is 24. And that's the correct answer. Let's move on to the next one, which is 4. Rule number 4 is a to the power of 0 equals to 1. So any number here, any number to the power of 0, it means that it will always equal to 1. Any number will always equal to 1. So for example, any number, let's choose 3. 3 to the power of 0 equals to 1. 5 to the power of 0 equals to 1, and so on and so forth. Now, the next rule is rule number 5, which is a to the power of minus x. So if we have a negative exponent, it's going to be 1, yeah, it's going to be a fraction number, 1 over a to the power of x. So in maths, we need to remember that when we have an equal sign, this and this are vice versa. So if in an exam, you write this, your final answer, they want it in this form, you can always just convert it back. So, for example, 2 to the power of minus 11 equals to 1. Always remember, because of the minus sign, we're going to be having a fraction. So 1, do you see? Because of the minus sign, we have a fraction here. So 1 over 2 to the power of 11, 2 to the power of 11. And if if the examiner wants this form to be written as that, that's also possible. Just remember that 1 over means that it's a number to the power of minus a negative number. Okay? Now, our last rule to remember, that is a, and this is the most important one, a to the power of x over y. A to the power of x over y, which equals to y square root. So square root of y, a to the power of x. Do you see what's happening? So in maths, this x is known as the numerator. So the fraction, so the top number is called numerator and the bottom number is called denominator. So what happens is that the numerator goes inside the square root with the x, and the denominator is outside with the square root. All right? So what do we have? This can also be written as, which is the same thing, but if you see this in this form, or it can be written as this way. Do not be confused if you see this. This is exactly the same thing. This written in that form. I always prefer this form just because it's easier to remember. This one might be complicated for someone, but whichever you prefer, you can always go for that, and they're both correct. Okay, so for example, a to the power 3 over 5. I just did not put a number here in case it's confusing for others. And I'm crunching it all up. This actually, maybe I should rewrite this down. So a 3 to the power of 5 equals 2. So we know that the y is going to be what? Our 5. So it's going to be square root of 5, a to the power of 3. Yeah, or it can also be written as square root of 5 with a, and then written like this in this format, and they're both correct. Okay, now let's move on to the next video. We're just going to practice some of these rules. All right, see you in the next video. Bye.